Hi there. In this video I'm going to attempt and troubleshoot the AC in the A4 B8 because it stopped working like that for no particular reason. Let me quickly give you the backstory from this thing. I was waiting outside to go have my stone removed from my salivary gland. Yes, that's a thing, weirdly enough. Anyway, and I sit in the car. I arrived too fast and I sit about 20 minutes or something in front of that particular clinic with the AC full blast. Everything was working perfectly. I go in there, they do the surgery. 2 hours later I come out feeling not so well. Car gives me a surprise, because what do cars do best? Give you surprises when you don't need them. Bad ones, obviously. AC wasn't working anymore at all, so it worked perfectly. 2 hours later, stopped for no reason. Obviously tried auto, tried on, off, all settings, nothing seems to be happening. I don't have any sort of errors or... ooh, that's a lot of dust. Any sort of errors or anything. No matter what I do, only warm air comes out of this thing. So the compressor, obviously, it's not kicking in. My first chain of thought, maybe a blown fuse for the compressor clutch. So the compressor itself, basically, it's not connecting anymore. Now either the compressor is starting to go bad and the clutch has to do overwork and that's why it blown a fuse, or maybe because I had it on at full blast for a bit of time, the front fan cooling the radiator for the AC at the front of the car went into overdrive and somehow blown its fuse, and I do not know how the electronics in this thing is set up to work. Maybe if that is blown, the whole AC basically doesn't start its compressor and shuts off to prevent damage to other components or overheating of that front radiator. So at this point I went online, searched for fuse locations where any fuse could be connected to the AC, and let's start checking them basically. And I will put the link for fuse locations down under this video in the description if you need to check them yourself, because in the manual this thing is quite stupid related to fuses, so I always need to check online to find them. Let's hope for the best, because a heat wave is coming and I don't need this thing not working. That would suck. Checked all the fuses, that side, this side, even in the trunk, just in case. All of them are okay. Didn't look under the bonnet. I think I have a few fuses there. I should look now. But anyway, I'm also going to do a OBD11 scan and see if the car tells us anything about this error. Hopefully it will. And we seem to have an error in the AC. False. A little sensor. Okay. I read a bit online that some people were actually having problems with this sensor, which is quite a simple fix. And another error that happened at exactly the same time. Yeah, when I was in front of that office. That makes sense. But I have no clue what this is. Anyway, I will export these particular errors. Try to reset this. Maybe it will start working again until I figure out how to buy this sensor. And maybe I just clean it, or who knows exactly how it looks. We will, although, oh, it's a sensor for pressure, so this is inside the pressurized part. It might need to go to a shop, because I might lose the refrigerant from this thing. That's how we're doing. Yeah, I will see. So let me start checking and see what I can do. First, obviously save these errors and do a reset. No luck. Scanned the car again, the error came back, AC still not working, so I did a bit of online searching and it seems that the sensor actually has a valve underneath it, so you can, in theory at least, if everything is working as intended, replace it while you still have pressure in your system. So I am going to attempt to buy this particular thing and obviously replace it myself. It seems you don't even take too much off, you just take a plastic protection off from the front of the car and you reach it quite easily. Or I don't have any pressure, but then I think I would get low pressure error, not the implausible signal. Probably this was damaged due to overheating while standing still with the AC on the max for a lot of time. That's how it goes, sadly. We'll use a Torx T30 to take this thing off and take a look at that pressure temperature sensor. After I have undone 4 screws, this thing simply slides out and then you take it off, and this is the sensor we are talking about. That silver one right there. Took the connector off, you simply press on this end of it, somewhere in here, and it actually releases. You can see it moving. When I press on it, it releases from this clip right here, and on this side we have the code of the part, and it's 1HO959126A. So it's the original part without the revision B. I'm going to buy revision B and replace this thing. For the moment I have no reason taking it off because it will not fix anything, just taking it off. Just wanted to see the code, and I will put everything back together until the new part arrives and it's clipped in place. Both the replacement part, yes, the code is different from Ale or Hella, they seem to have the same code anyway, but the part is the same. It's a 24mm socket, as you can see, but the problem is that it has this on the back of it, so a normal socket not deep enough to reach it. Problem. So sadly I cannot use that. I need to find, and I don't have a spanner of 24mm, so I need to find a way to take this thing off and actually take the old one off and put the new one in. And it actually came with an O-ring. If I could get it out of here, it's in there, weirdly enough, but I already bought one, this pink one, and the code for the O-ring is this. So I'm going to use this because it's original part. This one I'm not sure, or I should use this, it's a green one, maybe the colors differ, who knows. I'm going to use the green one that came with the sensor, why not, anyway, and keep this for future. I'm going to use this to undo it, which is probably the worst thing ever, but should I try to find something else? I don't even know if I can properly grip it with this thing in here and have enough room to actually rotate. This is gonna suck. Anyway, and a bit of pressure could be released, so in theory don't stay too close to it, but hopefully you can undo it fast enough that you don't lose too much pressure. It has a valve in there, but I'm not sure how quickly it will come in and close the pressure. Didn't find anything else, so I need to loosen it up with this and then just rotate it by hand. You might want to wear some gloves so you don't cut yourself in this. If some freezing substance escapes, as you can see right there, a bit of it escape. You don't want that on your fingers, but yeah. And we have one of those seals, the pink one, Should I put a pink one in there? Nah, I guess the green one will be okay. It came with the sensor after all. So let's put the new sensor in there. And yes, put a bit of oil or something on the new O-ring. If we look inside, they are the same, but the hole through which it senses, it's actually different on the new one compared to the part that I had on my car. Okay, let's put the new part back in place. Make sure no dirt goes in there, obviously. Yes, don't rotate it from the plastic. I'm using my left hand, so it's not quite fun and games. I will switch to my right hand and be back to you when this is tightened. Okay, this is tight. Don't overdo it. Hopefully this will plug in. And it did plug in. And now let's start the AC and hope we get some cold air, and we don't need to erase the errors right now because I don't really have too much time. Haha, and I have cold air once again. Hopefully it's not blowing directly into the microphone and you can actually hear me. Cold air coming from these things. Ooh, that's nice. For this heat wave it will be awesome. So now I will just put back the cover and be done with it. It's quite fiddly to put this cover back in place. You need to make sure it actually goes under. You can see here, under these things, the chromed element, and it's not under here, for example, now. And for sure it's not good on the other side at the moment, so it's quite fiddly to put it back in place until you can put in the screws. After driving around the city for about half an hour or something like that, as you can see, 0 errors, and the AC is running perfectly as it did before. So we fixed it with, I don't know, was it $50, something like that. So that's awesome. That's about it. Hope this video helps you, in which case please give it a like, check out my other videos, and as always, see you in the next one. Bye.